Well, British officials are working with France to unblock the flow of trade. France closed its borders to the UK on Sunday due to the new strain. Let's get the details from correspondent Samuel Burke. He joins us now live from London. Samuel, tell us, how serious and how dangerous is this new COVID-19 strain? Because it has impacted already travel and trade across borders in Europe.
Good evening to you, Rico. Well, the UK government is taking this new strain very seriously because they say it could be up to 70% more contagious, though doesn't necessarily make people any sicker. They say that the vast majority of new cases that they're finding here in the UK are from the new variant. And I just want to show you some of the effects that it's had on us here in the UK. You talked about countries like France stopping travel. That means, of course, freight as well, as you mentioned. And that had a fresh run on fresh produce at grocery stores. I just want to show you some video that I took when I went to just do my typical daily shop at a UK grocery store. And as you see in that video right there, fresh produce, fruits, vegetables, nearly empty because, of course, we rely on so much of that from France, and people are afraid that we won't get this. Now, this variant actually dates back to September. That's the first time that researchers saw it. And it did start here in the UK, though not in London, in Kent, about an hour and 20 minutes from London. And I think what's interesting here is, well, it seems like overnight we've kind of become the pariahs or the epicenter of the coronavirus at this stage of the game. I also want to put on the screen for you how many other countries have already seen this variant. Of course, here in the UK, but also if you look at this list of countries, Rico, you'll see Denmark is on there, Belgium, the Netherlands, Australia, Italy, at least one case. And of course, even in South Africa, where they've seen a similar but different strand of this variant. So it's probably too late to keep it all under control. When you see that list of countries there, you'll see that it is already spreading.
Absolutely. And of course, everyone knows that the UK and the United States and some Asian countries have already received their vaccines. There's a lot of anxiety right now here in the country. Samuel, when will we receive ours? It could be maybe by the end of the first quarter or maybe towards the end of the second quarter of 2021. And the Philippines has signed an arrangement with AstraZeneca for millions of doses of its vaccine, hopefully arriving by May or June of 2021. Can you give us an update on when AstraZeneca could get a stamp of approval from the UK Drug Regulatory Board for emergency use?
Well, it's really interesting because on the surface, Rico, you wouldn't think that the UK and the Philippines are in the same boat because we've already had some of the vaccine here. But actually, the biggest investment that the UK has made is in the AstraZeneca vaccine, much like the Philippines. So a lot really rides on this vaccine being approved. Now, right now, they say the earliest it could be approved in the UK is December 28th. But many people are saying that it could actually be until January when it's approved. The main issue here is the way the study was done in Oxford. And what they did is they presented a range. Now, you know, there are 2 doses, of course, but what they found is that if you do 1 full dose and 1 full second dose, that the efficacy is actually only 62%. But if you do a half dose and then a full dose, that the efficacy rate goes up to 90%. So that's an average of about 72%, but it's that range that's making it complicated for the UK authorities to better understand the vaccine and approve it at the speed that they did the Pfizer vaccine, for example. So those are difficulties that the UK is facing, that the Philippines will inevitably face, and any other country that's made a major investment in this drug the way that countries like yours and mine have done.
Many Filipinos are hoping that the AstraZeneca vaccine will arrive on Philippine shores sooner rather than later. Correspondent Samuel Burke joining us from London. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word, and happy holidays.